What is going on, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining us once again tonight, Thursday night, a night of hot topics and social commentary. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Click that subscribe button. It is free, okay? Make sure you click the thumbs up button. Leave us a comment. Send us some suggestions, some topics you want us to cover in the future. Give us some feedback on what you think of our videos. And also make sure you click the notification bell so you are notified every time that I post a video on this here channel. And I've got my co-hosts back with me, Mike, Jennifer, and Tyrone. What's going on, y'all?
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining me once again. First, I wanted to mention the fact that Miss Ultimate Pop Star Adele has graced the cover of Vogue right up, leading up to her new single that's coming out sometime this month. I can't remember exactly what the date is, but I did see the announcement on Instagram. But she looked flawless on that Vogue cover. What did you guys think of her cover?
Beautiful.
I love the cover. I think she's flaunting her new figure, which is lovely. I feel like she's doing it, and she got her breasts all out, like a lot of breasts out in this cover. So I'm just happy that she's happy and she's able to flaunt it.
Yes,
Exactly.
she looks wonderful. We have not gotten a whole lot of high fashion from her, while she has taken her break. So it's just really awesome to see her look so good. So
Right. And she looks happy too. She really
Yes.
does look happy.
yeah, when you leave people that ain't for you, and of course, babies do make you happy, and I think she's moved on already as well. So yeah, it's awesome. Do you have any words about this beautiful woman, Tyrone?
She look nice.
Yeah, real nice.
She look real nice. Nice, wholesome woman on the cover up there.
I don't know about wholesome, but she looked nice.
All righty. So, Jennifer, what's our first topic of
Oh
hot topics
gosh.
tonight?
Okay. So today we're gonna start off with the controversy so we can end off light today. I'm not here for the foolala and the
Mm-mm.
foolishness.
Uh-oh.
Lord knows. But
Who did it?
There
Dave
they go,
Chappelle.
bringing us up again.
Oh.
We just sit back and mind our business like we always do. And here they come, bringing us up and blaming us for everything.
Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah. Dave Chappelle, he had a comedy special called The Closer. Unfortunately, it was taken down. Wait, hold on. Was it taken down? It
It
has
has
been
not been
It's
taken
being
down yet.
threatened right now.
threatened.
Right.
Okay. So let me just read what the Shade Room has here thus far. I'm not sure if this is the most recent, but this is what I have here. We've been talking all day, of course, or sending information to each other throughout the day. National Black Justice Coalition asked Netflix to pull Dave Chappelle's The Closer special over comments deemed transphobic. Um, okay, I saw this personally myself, and I really can't say, or I would never be able to say how anybody else can feel about other people's comments. Everybody has their own feelings and things that they've gone through, things that shape their lives, things that are near and dear to their hearts. So when I heard it, I was certainly a little like, oh Lord, here we go again, because he's about to catch it again. But I personally found it. I did chuckle. Okay, I chuckled. I giggled a little bit, but I felt like all he was doing was telling truths. And that's where I'm going to leave my comments. Jonathan.
Sure. So, I honestly really don't know how to feel about this because one side of me sees it as really, really innocent, and he was just saying what he had to say. And in all honesty, I did chuckle a little bit when I first heard it, but when he said, "You see where I'm going with this?" I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So, yeah, it did not personally offend me, but I see why some have taken offense to it. He's alluding to the fact that the LGBTQ plus community, you can't say anything bad about them. You can't say, you can't put them down or say any ill words towards them, or they're going to be up in arms and you're going to lose your job and you're going to be canceled and all that good stuff. But some people have said that about the African American community. You can't say anything bad about them, or they're going to cancel you and they're going to do this and do that. It's happened plenty of times. So it's kind of like a balancing act. You have to decipher what is acceptable and what is not. You're not going to please everybody, but with this, I really don't see any malicious intent in the joke that Dave Chappelle said. I do feel as though it is slightly insensitive, because we can be sensitive, and we have every reason to be sensitive about these types of things. But I don't feel any ill will towards Dave Chappelle for saying what he said. Again, I didn't take necessarily any offense. However, I understand why some people might have taken offense and taken it there. I personally don't see it, but I see why people would see that.
Mike.
Why'd you do that, Jen?
you and your how would I call it? It's your TV face.
Oh, it's me just holding my words in.
Yes.
I really do feel like I'm just comparing David Chappelle comments to the baby. When the baby said what he said, not to bring it back up again, I could feel like, oh, that was wrong. When Dave Chappelle said it, I didn't feel any type of way, and it doesn't have to. I don't even have to be a trans or whatever to feel some type of way about it. I can kind of tell, like, oh, he shouldn't have said that or whatever. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything from his comments. He's a comedian. He's gonna make jokes that's gonna not about certain things that's not so funny, and he's gonna make it funny. That's his job. And I find myself today watching early 90s sitcoms like Martin, Jimmy Fox show, and they did a lot of stuff on those shows where I feel like if they do that right now, it will be canceled. Like, it will be so canceled. But it was funny, and nobody made a big deal about it. But I don't know. I just feel like we are too sensitive. When I say we, LGBTQ plus, yes, we have a reason to be, but not about everything. Like, I just feel like we're just too sensitive. I don't think he should be canceled. He's not that funny in my he's not my go-to comedian. So maybe that's why. But I don't feel like he should be canceled. I don't think what he said was too much. And when he said, you know where I'm going with this, I feel like that was probably the best thing he should have said, other than going into details.
Exactly.
Yes. So I just feel like we have to find a medium. Okay, they're going to talk about us. We already know that. There's no point. They're not going to stop. But if they talk about us on a level where it's not going to be disrespectful to the core, then just let them. Like, they talk about everything. We're not the only one to talk about it. It's about white people alive. They talk about things that's not funny, like 9/11, people dying all the time, murderers. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're not eliminated from the conversation either.
I do agree. I'm starting to wonder if it's gotten to a space where only the LGBTQIA can joke about the LGBTQIA.
But we can't always say that you cannot joke about us, but then we joke about everybody.
Okay, Tyrone, do you have any thoughts, or did you hear it? Or
I didn't hear what he said exactly, but based off of what you guys are describing, and me knowing Dave Chappelle's type of humor,
yes, because
I can get where it tap dance on that line, and people like, "Hey, buddy, you gone too far," and he's like, "What? I'm just saying the things that is on everybody's mind that they don't have the balls to talk about in the open. Why can't we have the conversation about our differences and joke about it and still move on with our lives without getting in the cancel culture of things? You got to lose your job because you took it too far for me. But the next person over, I'm good with it.
I'll
It's
have to say one of his previous ones that he actually had a joke about, being in the car and with the LGBTQIA, the trans people are sitting in the back seat. It's like he understands like the hierarchy that has been, not saying that I know everything, but I know a lot of gay men and and a couple of trans. But anywho, a lot of times the trans people are left in the background because you know that a lot of heterosexual people are not going to understand you. On top of that, your own brethren, your gay and lesbian brethren and sisterin don't know too much about you either, and not trying to understand your plight. So it's almost like you're always in the background, and that's the stuff that he was actually putting out there. It's like not saying that he understands everything, but it seems like he knows a lot more than your regular heterosexual black man.
I have to disagree with the trans being in the background
Mhm.
comment. I know this is not even part of the story, what we talk about right now, but
It is.
I know it is, but I'm just saying it's
No,
not
go ahead. Go
Dave
ahead.
Chappelle. If I would feel like a trans person would want to be in the background as far as you don't want nobody to clock you, right? Like you would want somebody to think you actually what you're portraying. Like
But go
so
ahead.
Well,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. If I feel like if I was trans, I wouldn't want nobody to be like, "Oh, that's a man acting like a woman" or whatever. Or he was born a man acting like. I wouldn't want nobody to clock me at all.
well, I think Dave Chappelle was speaking more of the fact that in our LGBTQ plus community, as far as like a totem pole concept is concerned, trans are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the
Mm.
LGBTQ plus community. And
Mhm.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Mike, but many well as far as black gay men are concerned, a lot of black gay men do not see eye to eye with a lot of black trans women in particular. I don't hear much about trans men, but a lot of trans women in particular, and I think that goes back to the fact that we don't understand their plight, we don't understand what they go through. But yes, as far as like a totem pole thing, trans are at the bottom. They talked about that on an episode of Pose, the second episode of Pose.
Mhm.
Blanca and Lulu, they went to a bar after Blanca won her first trophy against Electra, and it was a gay bar, but they did not want to serve those girls because they were trans. It's a
Mm.
thing. It is a thing that trans
Certainly is
are
a thing.
at the bottom, and I really, I remember that Dave said that, Jennifer, and that let me know that he is knowledgeable. And also, saying what he said, I've heard a lot of black people say, he did this and then nothing happened, but then this person did this and they go to jail for the rest of their life. Like I've heard that once before, a couple times
And that's
before
Dave
as a
Chappelle.
joke before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like I said, like I don't think Dave should be canceled.
Mm.
Um, I just think that it just
I
is
feel
what
like
it
he
is.
was he was speaking the truth, and a lot
Yeah,
of
he
wanted
was
people wanted
Yeah.
to
speaking the
hear
truth and
because
having a conversation.
expecting the baby to be knowledgeable and get all
It's
up in
not supposed to be.
arms. I mean, we all do have a right to feel a way about what he said because it was so freaking ignorant.
Yeah.
Right.
But he was shining more of a light. Somebody said, I saw a tweet that said he was low key snitching on him. Like, how can you snitch on something that's already in
That's what
public?
I saw too. I was like,
That's
what?
stupid. Anyway,
I,
because he was
I
talking
mean,
about how
well,
he murdered somebody in
yeah,
Walmart.
well, see, people forget he talked about these very same things in his song. And so for you to say, oh, well, he's dry snitching on the baby on this, it's
Even
like,
if it wasn't in one of his songs, you can find that in public record.
I was
I
about to
mean,
say
But
the
then,
same thing. It's public record out here. When you get
well, what
it's
the,
arrested for
public
something.
record.
my thing is, okay, so you're getting mad at us for saying that we're feeling disrespectful because you made comments about the LGBT community. But I feel like if I'm boasting about killing somebody, not getting in trouble about it, I think straight people or anybody should feel like you boasting about killing somebody and not getting in trouble about it.
So to
I
be
just feel
honest,
like, so what is now? Who is the crazy one? That's what I
But
think.
here's the problem. The culture of the entire rap industry has been glorifying killing people, robbing people,
and that's what
raping
Dave
people.
Chappelle was saying.
Yes,
Get on him about him murdering somebody.
correct.
Yeah.
Now,
I just
granted,
feel
he said
like
it was self-defense. That's what he said.
Well, that's the only reason why he's out in the open doing what he's doing now.
I don't know. Yeah, I do. I mean, I still feel like we're sometimes too sensitive. But I mean, even when I go to a comedy show, somebody always gets mad. It don't have to be a gay person or a straight. It's somebody's getting mad because when
Yeah.
it's about you,
subject,
when it's about you, it's always somewhere like triggered, and you're like, that's not funny. But everybody's laughing, and you're getting pissed off. I just like that's part of being a comedian to make people laugh. You can't make everybody happy.
No.
You're right. That's
Right.
even with cooking. But you know what? Let's move forward in this life. That was a very cute conversation. So Mike, you had you had a question that really brought
Resonated with
everyone
you.
to chorus. Everyone had
Yes.
something to say, and we have decided to go ahead and talk about this. Do you remember your question, Mike?
Yes, I do. You know, just thinking about some of the early 90s singers or 90s or early 2000s singers who, for me...
Yes, because we're talking about our personal
Yes.
opinions.
Now, the things I bring up doesn't mean I don't like these people now, but I do feel like a lot of engineering and control has been helped in the studio to make these people who they are today.
Amen.
So,
I agree.
but I do feel like some people that were artists back in the 90s who I think got there kind of easy wouldn't be artists if they was coming out today. And the example that I gave, which people do not come for me because this is my first love too. I do love this girl, but I don't feel like Aaliyah Houghton would have been an artist today if she would have came out today. I don't feel that way. That's just my opinion.
Yes.
I also feel like a lot of other ones wouldn't be artists today.
Could you give me just one more? Because I have so much to say about Aaliyah. Just give me one more because I don't want this to be the Aaliyah show.
Let's see who else.
Somebody that you know someone that you believe wholeheartedly that would not be able to make it in this time.
Maybe Sierra.
And why would they not? Like, I want to hear you say, why would they not be?
Yeah.
I don't feel like
today?
Your hands doing too much, Jonathan. Calm down, everybody.
Can I put some stipulations on the why?
No, this is his question. Go ahead and tell him.
Well, this is why I said Aaliyah would have made it. Now, I don't feel like live, I don't feel like Aaliyah could carry herself. She cannot sing live to me. Period. She's not a live singer. And I don't feel like she is. I don't know. I just don't feel like she has that. I don't know. I like her. I like her a lot, and I don't want to talk about her because no, she's not here anymore in the physical form. But I don't feel like she would be the person she was years before today.
Okay.
The longevity, I don't think it would be there.
Jonathan, I would like you to start the process of preparing a rebuttal. And I will also like for you to give me somebody that you know for sure would not make it in this market today. Go. Okay.
So I really needed that clarification because, to me, it sounded like you were saying that, the people from the 90s weren't really that talented. And therefore, they would not make it until, here in this time. But you're saying that there are certain people from the 90s that were not talented that would not make it now. So now I understand.
Yes.
Yes.
I will make it, but they have longevity career like they have now, like they had before.
Right. Yeah. There was a group that came to my mind that probably wouldn't be famous today. And I think that group is 702. They were really, really popping in the 90s. I loved their music. But right now, do I think that they would be like popping? Probably not. So yes, I think there are plenty of artists out there from the 90s who really didn't have it all there. A lot of people say that famously, Whitney Houston did not care for Paula Abdul because Paula Abdul was not the best singer at all. And Exactly. But you know, because of her dancing, and because I think she saw that what Janet was doing, and said, "Oh, Janet can do this.
You can
Shoot,
do
I
that
can do
too.
this too." Right? Exactly. So, yes, I do agree with you that yes, there are plenty. I won't say plenty, but there are some artists from the '90s who were big in the '90s. But you know, something else in their repertoire got them up on the up and up, and you know they weren't able to just rely on their singing.
Speaking of Janet Jackson, if she didn't have that last name, do you think she would have been an artist in the
Oh, she
90s?
would have made it.
She would have made it?
She would have. And did you want to speak? Because that's your fave, Jonathan.
Yes. As far as Miss Jackson is concerned, Janet has that thing. She has it. Everybody does not have that. I feel as though she had that same thing that Michael had. She had that thing, the same thing that Beyonce has. They have that thing.
But
She
the rest
is
of her sisters wish they had.
exactly. So, you know, and she had she had the hard work ethic. She was dancing her ass off on that stage. Was she singing live? Of course not. But
Of
hey,
course.
that's okay. It comes with the territory. So as far as an entire artistry is concerned, like, you know, Janet wrote, she put pen to paper. So she had some great, amazing, acclaimed albums. So yes, Janet would definitely be where she is
She's
today.
an icon. I would like to say about Aaliyah. I personally do believe in this time of Instagram, Twitter, um, TikTok now, and other forms and platforms. I do believe if she was born 18 years ago and she was just coming out, I believe she would have been just fine making music now. Number one, her look.
That's what I was
Number
about to say.
number two, her swagger, her confidence about herself. She would always had this cool level playing field, and that's what got her on these movies and stuff. Now, as far as singing, I do believe she knows how to carry every note that she recorded because I've seen her.
In the
Because
studio, yes.
no, I've seen her do it live on stage when she wasn't dancing. So, but I beg you to tell me this because you did talk about the singing and that being part of the reason why she wouldn't make it now. Please tell me some current singers today that would make it back in her day.
Mm. Well, Beyonce was already part back in the day. K. Michelle wouldn't have made it.
You know she wouldn't have made it.
No.
No, especially the way she act.
Queen Naja.
Queen Naja wouldn't make it.
Wouldn't
She
have
in every
made it. No.
a voice like that is in every church right now. Go ahead.
What's that artist y'all love? Not you guys, but everybody goes after her. The
Oh, Normani.
Normani.
Normani, she definitely would have not made it. But let's see. I think Fantasia would have been.
She would have, but she is kind of a part of back then, though.
She's a part of back then.
Okay, she's back then.
Early 2000s. I personally think that Seven Streeter would have made it. I say this because she is a great dancer. Her voice is.
Well, remember, Jonathan, back in the 90s, dancing wasn't the main thing that people was looking for.
Seven was in the early 2000s.
She was in that group.
But she was not. If she was a solo artist, or even if she was in that group, the 90s would not be looking for her.
Okay,
and it is very unfortunate. Not a lot of chocolate girls were being accepted back then.
Yep.
Unless you could sing like literally Aretha Franklin.
I don't think she could sing either.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's change that. Patti LaBelle. Is that better?
Yes. But people love Aretha. I just don't find. You know who gets on my nerves?
Who?
It's just somebody did a clip on TikTok and it just kind of upset my stomach every clip.
No. Jennifer Holiday.
Yes.
Jennifer Hudson.
No, it's Holiday. The way she sings, "You're Gonna Love Me."
Oh yeah,
She
yeah,
sounds.
yeah. Yeah,
I cannot stand it.
forgive me, Jennifer. You sound like you
Oh, wow.
I'm like, really? Like,
inhaling
Girl.
a whole pork chop. I'm sorry.
I think the reason why she does all of that is because I think she's
theater,
trying
maybe?
to get it
Oh,
out.
it
Because
don't take all
back
that.
when she was bigger, before she had gastric bypass surgery, she
Mhm.
wasn't doing all of that. She
Yes,
really
she
wasn't
was.
doing.
Yes, she was.
I
You,
mean, she was doing
Yes,
like
she.
a little bit of it, but
but
not
she was a,
exaggerated the way that it is now.
she was doing the Jonathan.
Mm-mm.
Because
Yes, she
I
was
have
doing
seen a
it.
couple of clips while they were doing Dreamgirls,
Yeah.
the original Dreamgirls on Broadway. On Broadway.
Is that she look? That's how she.
Yes, she was doing that, y'all.
Yes, and I thought maybe it
And
was
she
for the
continued to do
theater,
that.
but it just carried on to every performance. It's like, oh, girl, no.
And then, like once again, we don't have Jasmine Sullivan. He is a part of back then though.
Not really.
No,
I think she
no.
would have made it back in the 90s. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been understood, and I think she wouldn't have been as big as she is now. But she would have had maybe an album.
I
What?
agree.
Okay.
I think
No,
90s
no.
wasn't about belting and all that stuff. It's only a few belters who can get by in the 90s. But you had to
But
have
we don't have pop 90s pop R&B stars now.
yes,
Absolutely.
we don't.
That's true.
They died. I mean, they literally died around
It's all
2000.
Beyonce's fault.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, could you say that Rihanna is a pop R&B star?
Yes.
Yeah, but
But
I no.
She wouldn't have made it in the 90s though.
No, I don't think she would
I
have made it
only
in the
look at
90s.
Rihanna as a pop star.
She's definitely
She
part.
just
She's not R&B.
happens to do R&B. She's just a pop star.
so, and she knows how to choose a song. That's what
Yes,
I
she
do
does.
know.
Right. She has a really good ear.
She can
She has
choose
a
a
really
good
good ear.
song.
Yes.
She's taken some songs from other people and made
that,
ooh,
that has
Right.
been her saving grace because
that ear.
Umbrella was supposed to have been Mary J. Blige.
Yep.
Do you think Mary J. Blige could have made it now?
No.
No.
I know.
Because right now people don't understand or know the look of struggle.
Mm-mm.
Right.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't translate.
Yeah.
Faith
When
Evans
Mary
wouldn't have been able
came
to do it now.
when Mary came out, she came out in like the early 90s.
Good.
And she was singing to the
Raw.
people who was hurting. So yeah, so they all love that.
And that she ultimately opened that door for Keisha Cole
Absolutely.
to step in and kind of pass that baton for that box.
Keisha is really a great singer, and I really wish her career would have taken off way further than it had, because I actually do like her, and I feel like her struggle has been a lot of people's struggle.
Well,
and as far as when you have the family and the family not doing, like I really love Keisha Cole. Her music is good. It just something now it's not, but when it first came out, when she had Manny as the manager,
yeah,
she didn't get him back if she don't have him no more. She didn't get him back in ASAP.
One of the things I hated about what happened with Keisha Cole was she fell in this box of having to make a certain type of music to be successful.
Right.
And they were versus Rihanna, who bridged over.
I think it's two different people they're catering to also.
But you got to think about these people that know how to shape shift.
Right.
When you go from one album to the next, like a Beyonce, like Rihanna, like even like Madonna or Janet Jackson, every album it was a new look, a new mood. It was an evolution, and I don't think
with Aaliyah, there was a slight evolution in her.
But they didn't know how to package it over in Keisha Cole's thing.
I think also those people you named today didn't really go through anything that Keisha Cole was going through. I feel like
that's true.
It's also two different artists that's catering to two different people. Keisha Cole and what's the name that you said? Rihanna are catering to two different type of people. One is the hood, is Keisha Cole, who going through something right now with their baby father, baby daddy, boyfriend, girlfriend, don't know how to pay their rent. Rihanna's catering to people who already got it together.
We out here trying to dirty wine. Dirty wine in the club.
Yeah, like Cole got people struggling about her albums. Rihanna, they got on pre-order. So
okay, before we move on, and we
Ashanti had to go through the same thing.
Before we move on, oh Lord, he really likes Ashanti. We're not going to go too much further. Oh Jesus! Before we move on, I do want to ask this question: do y'all think Monica would make it in this day and age?
No,
I would doubt it.
No,
to be honest,
that's another artist I would bring up, that she got trapped in the box of being able to only sing certain songs about.
But she can sing though. She can really sing.
She can really sing.
I think that she would be a great background singer. That would probably have. I remember she would have came out and did one album that really would have done okay, but Whitney wouldn't have. Well, that's what she did in the 90s too, though. So
yeah. I mean, think about Deborah Cox.
She can sing too, but
Tamia can really sing. All of them are in this small spectrum.
Why don't we have some more ladies like that in this day?
Because they're not looking for singers now these days. They're looking for.
I don't think there's any room, because in the 90s there was a plethora.
If you have room for all these stupid rappers, then you can definitely have room for these R&B artists.
I feel like if we had room, we would have more to choose from. We would have more people to listen to. I don't listen to anything on the radio whatsoever, but there's not as much money in music. There was so much money in music in the 90s. It was a cash cow. But now, record labels aren't giving out $1 million deals anymore. I mean,
but you don't even need it today. You put out a good album or do it yourself.
You don't have to do an album anymore. It's a single.
You got a good team behind you who can do your Instagram, Facebook, marketing team. Like, you can sell an album. But I think Tamia, who could sing, need a different team. Because my thing, why do you keep the same team and you're not going nowhere? I'll be treating my team up constantly. If you can't get me to where I need to be, baby, maybe if they don't, I can do it by myself.
What were you gonna say, Jonathan?
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay.
Now, here's the part that I will focus on right now, as far as music today versus the 90s. The content of the subject matter that they're talking about in the songs is so small versus back then. Everything had depth. They had multiple subjects that they talked about in the same song, even though they had the same hook line running over and over again. Today, most people verses is only 2. Back then, they had 3 to 4 verses.
Correct. And also, like you said, it was definitely a message in the music. Now it's definitely no message that I want to get from the music today. But you're right. When I listen to like a Boys to Men or even in Aaliyah, because she definitely, she's talented. We can't get her wrong, but I just don't think she would have made it now this day, because we wouldn't have been looking for it, I don't think. But
and to be honest, think about how she doesn't exactly do all the runs and all that stuff.
She doesn't.
Everybody out here doing it right now.
They not, but
that would be the difference today, is because that sound that Aaliyah produced back then
is relevant today.
It will knock everybody out the water because it will be fresh versus already out there.
Did you guys listen to Trey Songz album that just came out? Was it this year, I believe?
Absolutely.
I did not.
Let me tell you, that album was very good. I think that album couldn't have been in the 90s, and it didn't go anywhere. But the album was if I call it good, the album was good. Like, it was so like listening to album from beginning to end. Maybe skip 2 songs.
What kind of Trey is it? Is it like I want to have sex all the time and all day, Trey?
Well, that's what Nice was.
yeah, that's facts.
The only album that I enjoyed from Trey Songz was his first album, and I kind of stopped there.
Well, I felt like his album Ready was really good as well. I feel
Mhm.
like that one is like really, really close to the first one. The first one will always be my favorite, but that Ready album is it's really, really good. It is like, kind of a panty dropper type of album, but it's still good. But anything like after that, like I really didn't he got into kind of like what Tyrone was talking about. I call it like a generic R&B bubble. It's like,
Mhm.
it's the same type of songs every single time that someone
Every
comes
time.
out. And for
But
like 2 or 3 albums, that's what Trey was doing. And I just wasn't interested, but I'll listen to his new album
but
now.
do you
But
guys know why he did that? Because I feel like when he cut that hair and did that album with the shirt off, that he took off. I feel like when you find something that you're good at and people are still buying it, then that's what you're gonna stay at. I understand it gets boring, but that's
He's
what
trying to be the
sold.
person that
That's
that
what sold.
right,
he's
yeah.
trying to be the
And if
person
it's not
that
broke, don't fix it. So,
Yeah,
it's
and
it's
I think
working
and
for him, so he does it.
he's not the artist that can change up and keep his fan base. He's not a Rihanna or a Beyonce who can do whatever, and you gonna have
okay.
to buy it because they just did.
Right.
It's there. Like Beyonce, sometimes her music and not Beehive did not come for me, but I'm a real Beehive. I'm a stain whoever come for Beyonce. But sometimes when I listen to her album the first time, I'm like, what the hell is this? But after a while, I'm like, okay, I got it now.
I felt that way with
So
Four, man. It took a while for Four to catch on to
Oh
me.
no, I caught on the
I was
4
like, "Where
immediately. I
is she
love
Me,
4.
going?
me too. For
Where is
me,
she
the
going?"
album that I was kind of giving a side eye to, and Jennifer knows this, was B Day. And the reason
yes,
A lot of
why
people
is because
that's
I
another
love ballads. I love ballads. And
yeah.
Beyonce had one ballad on that song, and it was only 11 tracks. I didn't even want to listen to it. Like I did not want to listen to it. Jennifer was like, "Well, there's this song called Kitty Cat and Sugar Mama," because Jennifer knows what I like to listen to.
I love
And I
all of
did not get into that album until I saw the Beyonce Experience and
you
saw
can't tell
those
me
songs
nothing.
being
I
performed
love all of
live.
it.
there.
And then
B-Day.
I fell in love with it.
Let
But
me tell you, B-Day album was like, ugh. I don't know Beyonce. This is before I was like a Beyonce fanatic. Well, I was not a fanatic then too.
Yeah.
But I was like, I bought 2 albums of that B-Day album too. But it took me a while to really, really enjoy it. But the Beyonce Experience, I got the DVD too.
That was a
That
fun
that
album.
made me.
Yeah.
Afterward, I still don't care for on that album though.
Ah!
There's no peace right here. I still, I still don't care for that song. What's it called? The one, the dance track. I don't
Which
care.
one?
Drop to the floor. Just
Oh, Give Me Body.
like
Body.
I still don't care for it. I did like it live with
Really?
ET Awards, but I really hate that song when it comes on. I'm like, oh god.
Now, for me, I don't like commercialized songs. So if it's been all over the radio and stuff, I'm not necessarily going to listen to it. That's why I love Sugar Mama. Is like
I
my
love
Yeah.
Sugar Mama. I
and
love Kitty Cat
Cat
too.
is up there. Like I'll sit there and sing that song all day long, man. But anywho, moving on
We
because
all off
we're
topic,
doing
ain't
too
it?
much. Is we apparently really enjoy music, and if you guys want to hear more music topics, want to hear our opinions about different music things, please let us know. You can always go down in the comments, let us know what you're thinking about, as well as the questions that you have, because there's a big chance we're going to talk about it here on the show. So first of all, I would like to let you guys know that yeah, I have to use the restroom real quick. But before I do that, because I'm gonna keep it real with you, and I ain't about to use it anyway.
Keeping it real with Jennifer.
Keeping it real. That's a good
All
one.
right.
So the last thing we're going to talk about today
I got
are
it.
first date requirements. We're married and have not been on the first date in bajillion years. So I would love to hear how you guys see first dates and the things that you want from those first dates. And I'm running.
We'll be back.
We
We're live. We show must go on.
Right, exactly. So, Mike, I don't know how many dates you've actually been on. I've actually only been on one date. I've never been in a relationship before.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm new to this shit. But I will say that on my first date, the thing is I found him on BGC. Black Gay Chat.
Mhm.
So of course, I don't believe a date is what he was looking to do. Uh, but anyways, he went along with it. So we went to Longhorn out in Harbison. And I could tell the whole time he was nervous. He was like looking around, like the restaurant was full, and they put us at this huge booth, like by ourselves, and like we were just, we were just together. And I was all excited, I'm getting in the dating game, whatever. This was like maybe
Mhm.
like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe. And he was just so uncomfortable. And it was I really, really couldn't enjoy it, to be honest. And then afterwards, I never talked to him again. But anyway, so for first dates for me, of course, I'm going to want to look my best as usual. I'm going to want to have a fresh twist up, you know what I'm saying, as I do today. Hey. Um,
Hey.
and and just kind of get the early questions out of the way. Is he going to pay for it? Am I going to pay for it? I'll pay for my own food, unless you say that you want to pay for mine. That's what I'm saying. If you want to offer, that's all well and good. But I'll pay for my own. A kiss on the first date is not a bad idea for me. I personally say that because I love to kiss. It doesn't have to be the tongue wrestling and all that good stuff, but nice, peck, that would be nice. But yeah, I'm really bad at these type of subjects because I've only been on one date. So what are your suggestions, Mike?
Well, I've been on a plethora. And okay, so we probably should talk about where you get these dates from also, because a lot of times, well, I'll say the dating thing now and what it was in my early 20s are totally different. I will only mention BGC because you brought that up, but if you don't pay, I don't say the names. Okay? So come on with the advertisement. But no, and back in the my early 20s, luckily my dates has been coming from like people I met in the club, or people like the tag they like you like 5 pictures on Facebook, and you like 5 more there pictures, then you end up in the then they end up in the inbox. And the early 20s, that was usually where I was finding my dates from. And those went so well. Like those first dates actually went out to a dinner. And I was probably the awkward one because I was still like, I don't want nobody to know that, I don't want nobody to take another look at me then. Now I don't give a fuck. But
Right.
yes, but I remember this good date right here now. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Let me make sure nobody's looking. This person I went on a date with, I met him initially from my old best friend. I was at his birthday party, and he brought him as his date. Now I usually don't date my friends, man. I was 21 back then, so just let it go. But he liked pictures of my Facebook. I liked some of his, and we went on a date anyway. So, but it was a great day, and we would have been a great couple. But I would hit that negative thing like this: you're my friend's ex. Like, I just couldn't really get with it. But he wanted to like move in together to do a lot of stuff, and I was like, I couldn't do it because I just felt so bad. But that was a good first date. Huh? Not the first date, but I'm saying that first date, it was just like it went so well, and it just continued talking for a while. But now in 2021,
yes,
I think online is where you meet half the people that you're going out with now, and I found, I guess, it's a lot of people saying one thing, but when you meet them in person, they want something totally different. So the first dates now are horrible.
Because you just found out a bunch of things you didn't know.
You found out things that we talked about and you were not truthful about. And you really don't want to go on a first date. You really just want to go inside my pants, to be honest. So it's like, it's horrible. It's horrible. Like, I think back in the day, that's what they wanted to do also, but at least they tried to conversate with you. Make you feel like you're wanted. Now it's like linking the first message. Like,
right.
So the first dates now are horrible. I even almost went on one the other day. A guy talked to me. We was talking all day. I was at work. He was talking all day at work. And he wanted to meet that night. And I'm like, but I got up for 9 o'clock. And it's a little late to meet, whatever. He's like, well, I really want to come see you. We wasn't talking about sex at all. So I'm like, okay, well, it's late. I got to get up early in the morning at 8:30 to go to work. Maybe I can meet you on these 2 off days or whatever. He replied back, okay, that's cool. I can spend more time with you. But I really want to have something in my mouth. I'm like, oh God, you messed it up. So I never finally got to that. Like, I understand what you wanted, like, that's really what you wanted all along. You want to come see me.
Yeah.
So like,
That's
it's
sucky.
Huh?
That's real sucky.
It is. But so like, you just gotta really work hard on weeding these people out. Like, first dates suck. First dates are just really just the opportunity to figure out if they really real or not. It's not even a really
That's what it's turned
enjoyable
into.
first date. Yeah.
The first meeting time has turned into, let's suss out whatever's going on with you. What's really going on with you? Because apparently it's in person. That's the only time we can be ourselves, unfortunately. That's what it's starting to seem like.
Yeah.
But
it's boring. Now, what I will say about a good first date, what it should be.
Well, let's say what you hope it to be.
What I hope it to be.
Yeah.
If I'm not mentioning sex at all, then don't talk about sex to me at all on the first date at all. Because when you talk about sex on the first date, I already kind of know in my mind what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But a first date, it don't even have to be a restaurant. We don't have to go out to eat. We can. To me, I wouldn't say a simple person, but we can go to a parking lot somewhere and just sit down and talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind doing that. Or we can go to a park and go to a track and walk around, like something simple to get to know each other. Communication, that's good for me. We don't have to go out to eat at all. I feel like I should, at the end of the first date, I should know, like, okay, this is somebody I probably wouldn't mind spending some time with. But if you mention sex at all, it's a done deal for me.
That's the red flag.
It's a red flag.
Jonathan, have you learned anything from this moment? Just wondering.
I believe I have. It's definitely where you find your dates. That is one of the keys. Because, and that's because of what we said earlier. I was talking about the fact that where I found the date that I went on with was on BGC, which is a dating app.
Is it still active now? Is it still?
I don't believe it is. I think it's shut down right now. But yes, it doesn't have to be. The date doesn't have to be at a restaurant, just the two of you, and the candles lit, and one pays for the other, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be you walking down the street, or just I really like the suggestion that you said, Mike, just sitting in the parking lot in the car talking. Like, I would love to do that. Like, I love doing that.
That's good.
A part of me feels like we put too much on the first date, being that this is supposed to be the first time we're really coming together to spend some time. Like, maybe we shouldn't feel the need to have to fight over, well, since you asked me out on a date, you need to pay for the date. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. Like, when it comes to women, like, I feel, unfortunately, I am a part of the women brigade. I do feel like we do ask for a lot from men, as far as the heterosexual women. Shoot, even lesbian women, more of the lesbian women, ask a lot of men when we're first meeting, especially on such a big investment. Now, okay, I was going to do the whole, I think you wanted me to share the whole clip, but I'll just explain really quickly. There was a girl that called into Kevin Samuels, right? Y'all don't know Kevin Samuels.
Yes, so we'll be very honest.
Brutally honest. This woman got on the phone and asked, why do these men want to have sex with me so soon, so early in the game?
Asking the question too. I want to hear his response, but maybe I think I'm just zooed a hoe at me or something like that.
Well, to sum up his response was, that was the game that they were playing, and in general, that's the game that all men play.
Mm-hmm.
They want to sleep with you, and they're investing their time and their money into you
So you can
to
sleep
get
with
a
me.
piece of you.
So how would you know if somebody's looking for you for real if you don't sleep with them?
I think the part that this young lady was missing was the fact that these men were not only paying for her, her time, paying for everything, whatever they go, but by the third date, they're expecting something because they've
Mhm.
invested a lot of money
Mhm.
into this woman. And when she was talking about it, I was like, well, shoot, I'd expect something too. Because we're out here paying, those dudes are out there paying for dinners, and them girls are not, skimping. It's like, oh, just give me the salad. I just need a salad and
Okay.
a water with some
No,
lemon.
they're not
You
doing
know
that.
that's not the case.
They
Right.
trying out
They're trying surf and turf for the
shrimp
first
and
time and making
lobster
and
for the
trying to
first
get
time.
whole lobster balls and stuff like that, crab balls.
You ain't never ate no lobster in your life.
Right.
You don't even know where to crack the shell at.
Well,
So-
that's different. I mean, I understand. I can understand the guys that want to, if they spend that kind of money on somebody, they should at least get something. But what if you're just doing like simple like date stuff? Like when
There is
The
an
thing-
end game
yeah.
in dating,
Right. Yeah.
regardless of what level that you're looking at it. There is an end game. Some people's end game is marriage. Some people is a long-term relationship.
mm.
Either
So
way,
Just
there
sex.
is an end game.
So I
Their
could ask what your
sex
end game
is their goal.
Yes.
That's their end game, and they're moving on to the next.
And I think that's why it's important at the beginning of a relationship to get
Let's
your
make it clear.
intentions out there, make them clear. Now, you're not going to know if that other person is telling the exact truth,
No.
but at least you had that conversation so that if you run into issues later on, you can go back and say, "Hey, I said this, 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 and this from day one, and you did what?
You know what I hate?
Goodbye."
I
So,
hate when they ask you, "What are you looking for?" On this site, and I tell them what I'm looking for, and they come back and say same.
yeah.
No, that's not like it's elaborate what you're looking
Not the
for
same.
because it's probably not
never
the
the
same.
same.
And see, that's why in the first date you just automatically hit them with, "I'm not having sex with anybody. Let's see how long we stay around, or how long you even stay around
Look.
in this particular date."
Steve Harvey has a wonderful idea out there. A 90-day rule. You do
Well, I don't want to
none
do
of
that.
that extracurricular
But
things.
I say just say the 90-day rule and see if they stick around for at least
Right.
30.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Woo,
You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
how you vet them out.
90 days.
Look, 90 days is long. 60 days is long.
30 days
30
is
days
long.
is long.
2
is
weeks
long
may be
too.
long if they find enough.
Okay, you better say that,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
A weekend
Man.
might be long for some of y'all.
Let me say,
Okay?
I'm like Jonathan. Well, you see, like the kids, I don't mind if the connection is there. I don't mind kissing, but I hate somebody trying to kiss me and the connection is not there for me. Where I'm like, oh, no, I don't do that. But I love somebody who could kiss. That is really like. After that, I think I'm like easy in love. After that, like
Yeah, me too.
like I hate how.
But see, that's something you're gonna have to fight too.
Right.
Because
Yeah, I
kissing will
know.
get you pregnant. So what you got to
Woo.
do is
Like
Pop them out.
yes.
so what you know your weaknesses. If you indulge in your weaknesses, just know that you're gonna have to. So
So how do you stop? I don't know. Maybe I think I really assume I want to have sex because I think that's usually what. Maybe it just I don't know. I don't dress that. I don't. I
think-
don't talk about it, but
Yeah.
Mike, I think
You're
it's more.
confident.
It might be either more the men that you are getting in contact with, or just the fact that it's kind of something that men do.
It is something that men do, but
Probably
it is
both.
also a law of attraction. You attract what you put out. If you're putting out this energy that I am ready for love in the IRE,
I am ready for love.
then that is
Ooh.
who you're going to attract is the opposite.
I have a little wisdom.
So I just go stunt these hoes, then I fall in love.
So when you're going out and showing a little skin,
That's what I do with my
There are
own.
eyes attracted to the skin, and it
And
draws them
also
to you.
not saying that you are
Mm.
desperate, just knowing that's what you want. Men can smell that. You know what I'm
It's
saying? Knowing that you want a
pheromones.
lasting relationship, knowing that you want to find your forever. Men, unfortunately, will take advantage of that. And I've seen them do that with a lot of women
But there
take
are women
advantage
that
of
do
their
it too.
desire of wanting to have a real relationship and to move forward in something. There are men that have no problem with using the words "I love you" and using the
Mhm.
words "Let's be together forever," using all those words within 1 month.
Oh no,
So
that's
they
great. That's
can
a sign for me. I'm like, oh no, Mike hard ass.
Well,
using
there
all that within 1 month so that they can get into them drawers and leave.
No, they
it
Some
need
might
to
be
people are
have
shorter.
that
Exactly.
patient.
It would be shorter than
Some people are that patient.
normally. It's shorter than 1 month. It's usually
Yeah.
yeah,
within the
a
first
couple a week.
'I
But
feel
weeks,
like I
a
love
week
you.
or
I
two.
don't even have sex anymore. Like with anybody new because I just don't even want you to even think you're not even worth the 3 minutes
Hey,
anyway.
Because you like to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a big insight. Men are visual.
Mm.
Mhm.
They're visual aided creatures. What they see
You too
is
sexy.
what they go after.
Right.
If you're sexy and I
Ooh.
see it,
Come
I'm
on.
coming to get
And I want you.
you.
And I guess it's also where you meet them at too.
No,
Not
you can be
always.
in a grocery store and somebody will be checking you out.
Because there are actually people that get married from social media and find meaningful, lasting relationships. It's certainly possible. It's just unfortunate that you have to really weed through the people that aren't on your same
Well,
wavelength.
I feel like Jennifer Hudson. Where you at? Where
Right.
you at?
Like I'm
Deliver!
right.
Look, look,
Deliver.
I understand this. Understand this. Everybody walks into a new relationship wearing a mask.
Mm.
It is
Come on,
over
preach to that
time.
Lord.
It's over time that they take that mask off,
hmm
and you wake up the next morning. Who is you?
Mm-hmm.
You walk out the door with them one day.
It's all
I
a
didn't
process.
know
Even
that
if you
was you.
find the one that's just for you, it's still going to be a process. I promise you, it's going to be a process trying to figure them out. It's going to be a process to find their little idiosyncrasies that get on your nerves, and
Oh yeah,
whether or not having to figure out whether or not it's worth you trying to work through to be with this
that.
person.
Yeah.
It's a whole process to try to figure out how to communicate with each other because both of y'all have been individuals in your own life, and when you guys come
Mhm.
together, you both are trying to be individuals when you need to attempt to be a couple. There's it. There's so much learning that you need to do, even with the man that is perfect for you. It's all a process for sure, but those good vibes is what should help you stay together in those moments of continuously learning.
And as you learn, you should have this ledger of
Keep
do's
track.
and don'ts that you are subscribing to, aka your standards.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know my standard. I don't. I guess I need to put it on paper. I don't even. I haven't even wrote it down. I just know what I don't want and what I don't. I guess it's a standard, but I think they change per person. So I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something that I had a friend of mine do. He's in the process of getting a divorce, and he has already found somebody with our help. We didn't introduce him to anyone, but he found that person. But before he found that person, I had him to go ahead and write down every single thing you want out of a relationship, out of somebody else for you,
Mm.
and write down everything you don't want, especially as far as everything that was done to you in your marriage that broke you.
Mm.
Mm.
Just write it down
Come
because
through, marriage counselors.
Okay.
because when it's visual and you can see it
Yes.
and it's out there in
Yes.
the world, it can also manifest. So
Mm.
write those things down. It is important to actually use a pen and paper, use a little notebook, write that stuff down and continue. And because one thing I can say, because I trust in God as well, and I know y'all do, but the greatest thing about God sending me somebody, no worries. Tyrone, it turned out to be a lot of things I didn't know I needed in a relationship from somebody else. So at least write all the things that you want. Let God see it, all his angels, the Holy Spirit, and them. Let the whole world, I'm trying not to say universe, but you know what I'm saying. The universe is going to see this.
Right.
God's universe is going to see this. And it can be manifested. It's just that you put it out there.
Now, be careful with your ass file.
Because you might just get it.
Because the universe got a very specific way and a sense of humor of bringing that thing, and you be like,
I should put this on the don't list.
Yeah, start off with that don't list. Start off with that don't.
I would suggest anyone.
And if you need some help, I'll give you some don'ts that you don't need. But I'll also help you out with what you do need, or what the things that you're not thinking about that you want. Because, once again, when you've been doing it by yourself for so long, eventually sometimes you just don't know how to take a step back.
The dog touched me. I'm sorry.
Like, what's going on?
I think the next topic for another day should be, if the sex is bad, but you really like, well, I guess can sex be bad? You like the person still?
Let me tell you something. We will have that question. Let me put that in our group right now, so I can remember next week.
If the sex is bad, should you stay?
That is a good question.
Should I go?
And let me tell you something. I have an answer for that. All right.
Gotcha.
Go ahead and get us off of here, Jonathan.
Yes.
Well, it's been an hour of hot topics and social commentary. Once more, make sure you join us again next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Again, it is free. Make sure you click the thumbs up button. Make sure you give us a comment. Give us some suggestions. What do you want to hear us talk about? We're open to all suggestions. And be sure to click the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video on my channel. Mike, shout out to your social medias. What are they?
Yes, my social media is Twitter and also Instagram, Mr. Real 121. And if any of you beautiful men out there want to come in my inbox and take me out on a special date, no sex is given, just hit me up on Mr. Real 121 on Instagram and also Twitter. DM your boy.
Ow, yes. Jennifer, Tyrone, what are y'all social media?
Mine is jstarbright at Gmail. Oh Lord, jstarbright. That's on the Instagram as well as Twitter, kinda. And I do want to quickly say, I'm sorry for using the restroom. I do drink a gallon of water every day, if not more. It's actually having me to lose weight, so I'm sticking with it. So please forgive me. It's going to happen, though. All right. What was that, Tyrone?
And my social media platform is Mr. TD McCullum. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, and if anyone wants to join us in prayer, we do have our Faithful Warrior Ministries Instagram, excuse me, Jesus. We have our Faithful Warrior Ministries YouTube as well as Facebook. You can subscribe to that channel as well as like our Facebook. And we do it every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Just a little devotional and prayer.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is jojo_3020. And if you want to look me up on Facebook, my name is Jonathan Lee. No William, just Jonathan Lee. Yes, the picture with the locks. Yes. Thank you guys once again for joining us. We will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Good night. Better not bring your kids